Here at home, temperatures continue to be well below freezing, and the past 24 hours have been the coldest so far this year. While the extreme cold warning from Environment Canada has ended in our area, it's still dangerous out there for the most vulnerable. Sean Cowan is live tonight with more. Good evening, Sean.
Nicole, I spoke with a number of community groups in the Hamilton and Niagara area today, and they all have one thing in common. They say there's definitely a need for support and services, especially when it's freezing outside. Donations from local businesses and community groups are pouring in at the hub in Hamilton, and they are desperately needed, according to the executive director.
Our folks were super appreciative to leave with some wonderful new sleeping bags, but I think the biggest need right now is gloves. And sleeping bags. They do get stolen, they get damaged, they get wet, and these folks don't have anywhere to dry their stuff, and that's going to keep their fingers and hands intact.
The hub in Hamilton is a place where people can eat, drink, and rest during the hours of 5 to 9 p.m., but they have been extended overnight during the city's cold weather alert.
For the majority of the folks who visit our facility, being cold is not the worst thing that's happened to them in their lives. And so sometimes that affects their reasonability to understand that this cold will actually kill them. I've
also been in touch with Hamilton paramedics, and they tell me within the past 24 hours, they've responded to 3 cold weather calls. 2 were moderate and 1 was severe. They're also reminding the public that if you happen to see somebody who looks like they may be suffering with hypothermia, to call 911.
Right off the bat, you're going to feel that pain, that numbness and tingling, and then as it gets worse, your skin's going to start to literally freeze and become hard, waxy, bluish, white in color. Important when to recognize these symptoms early on and get out of the cold.
Shelters in Hamilton are already running at near capacity, but even with COVID, they say no one is turned away during extreme cold weather.
On cold days like today, extremely cold days today, we certainly see more folks reaching out for overnight space or places to warm up, hot coffee, winter essentials. So
Roger Boyd from Men's Street Mission provides meals and clothing to those who need it.
And the need is there every day. I go to the same groups with these young people to keep them going.
In Niagara Falls, with the current lockdown and with COVID hitting businesses, there's been an increasing need for services and housing. So the city has not only opened up warming centers in libraries and museums, but they've also turned a senior center into a permanent daytime warming center starting on Monday.
Use a washroom, they can get a meal, and they can get some services too if they're inclined to look for some services to connect them to it. So it'll be kind of a hub.
A temporary solution to keep the most vulnerable safe during the cold months. And because the city of Hamilton is still under a cold weather alert, there are a number of emergency warming stations that are open for those who need it. Some during the day, others at night.